Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm coming up here to show you guys my brow tutorial. It is very beginner friendly. As you guys can see, I have very fine brows, very little brow hair, and I'm going to show you guys how I get my full brow look. If you are a fine brow girly like me and you don't have that much brow hairs but you still want like a natural looking brow, this is the tutorial for you. I don't like painted on, really like clockable brows, if you get what I mean. Like, I don't mind my brows looking filled in, but I don't like them looking really like stuck on, like someone went. So first things first, of course, I've done my skincare for the day, but my eyebrows have to be dry. By that I mean, if I've moisturized and I feel like my brows are a little bit oily like they are right now, I will go in and like dry them out. I feel like the best way to get like the best brow application, especially if you're using like a pencil, which I am, you do not want no oily brows. You don't want your moisturizer in your brows because it's just going to make the pencil just slide, and then the product's not really going to sit where you want it to, and you're not going to have control of the product. Trust me, you want to make sure the brows are dry. I don't have any tissue at the table right now, so I'm just going to use a clean powder puff. Literally just going to rub. It definitely like took out any extra oils. So now I'm gonna go with my brow pencil. I'm currently using this one. This one is discontinued, but any brow pencil with like a really nice thin brow, ABH, Queen of the Brows, they have really good brow pencils. And also I know Benefit has some really good brow pencils. Brow pencils with a fine point are the best because I think you can really get precision with how you're going to draw and carve out the brows. So I like to brush my brows up just to kind of see how my natural brows kind of shape. I think following your natural brow shape is the best way you're going to get a nice like natural brow look. I like to kind of go with what I naturally have and just enhance it. So once I brush it up, I can kind of see a shape forming. I mean, it ain't much here, but you guys can see it kind of goes like this. With brow pencils, you don't want to like do this because it will break. You want to literally just roll it up to like the edge, like just barely anything popping out, and just use that. I'm literally going to outline the bottom part of my brows. And I'm just going to kind of lightly trace across. And I'm following the natural shape of my brows. I am going to bring it down a little further because I like my brows to look a bit more elongated. But I'm literally tracing just under. So it's not a super hard, like harsh line. I just go very lightly across just to like carve out the shape. I'm going to do the same to the other side and just follow the line. So that's what we've got so far. So given very much sisters, not twins, but these are the natural brows. So this is what we got to deal with, okay? So once I've done that, I like to kind of use the brush side and just brush up just to like diffuse the line a bit, but you guys can see the shape is coming together now. So what I'm going to do is literally just do little flicks, like really fine flicks of like brow hairs, and fill in especially the front part of my brow, because as you guys can see, the tail end of my brow is thicker and the front of my brow is super thin. And do not worry if you feel like it's messy because we are going to clean up with concealer. So that's completely fine. And it doesn't have to be super neat because we are going to clean it up with concealers, but we just want to kind of focus on getting some thickness going. So I go back in and continue to brush, and when I tell you guys, brushing the brows really is like the key to getting a nice like natural looking brow, because it really like diffuses like whatever you put down. Like it makes it look more softer and more like fluffy and effortless. And I particularly brush the front of my brows. I'll go back in a little bit, get a bit of definition here because I want that. And then I always make sure I really like sculpt the edges of my brow here and make sure it's really filled in, because I feel like the tail end of your brow is really like the most important for it to have a little bit more definition. So at this point I'm going to go in with concealer. So I just use my regular under eye concealer for under my brows. I like to use a very small, like, I don't know what this brush would be called, but this is from the Jessup brush collection on Amazon, and this is the MUL 18 brush. So I'm literally going to use my concealer and follow the same brow shape that I have. I'm not going to do any divergence. I'm literally just going to clean up. I put quite a little bit of concealer on my brush because I want it to be really clean. I don't mind it looking thick at the beginning. I can blend that out after with a blending brush. I just want to make sure I get my shape like perfect. And this is so important, guys, because if you don't get the shape right, it's like you might as well wipe it off. I'll be real. So once I'm giving unibrow and I've pretty much got a good sculpt on each side, I just pull down. I'm just gonna pull down that concealer now, and this is what really avoids that or minimizes that halo brow effect. Like, we know concealer is for coverage, and if you don't blend it down immediately, you don't want it to feel too like thick, if you get what I mean. I like to break the unibrow with the same brush, and I kind of like to blend upwards to kind of start carving my actual brow and seeing where that's gonna start. Just like that. So immediately that gave us two brows. So I kind of leave it like that for now. I don't like to do too much. I just kind of like to break them apart and like kind of start shaping out. So going with any foundation, I'm just going to use my Charlotte Tilbury because it's right here. Just kind of like dampening my brush into it. I don't like to put too much with the foundation. I think I'm going to go about here. I'd rather sculpt bigger than too small because I can always go back over it. So I'm just going to go about here, and I'm just going to go straight line across. And do you see, we don't have no halo because we're using our foundation. If I was to go with another concealer, it would have been a whole another layer of blending, and no, we don't want that. And as you can see, I'm going straight across. I'm not following my brow shape yet because I just really want to get the top of my brow to be like exactly where I want it. So I'm just going to go straight across. Once I'm happy, I start to blend that foundation into the skin and just blend it upwards because I'm pretty happy with that. And then I'll go in with the foundation and come down. Now when I do this, I'm pretty careful because I want to keep my brows pretty straight. So I'm just going to kind of follow the line but clean it up. Upside down. So let's just go ahead on this side, and we're going to try to make them look as similar as possible. I haven't got my brows done in like maybe 4 or 5 years. Like, I don't get my brows threaded. I usually just do them myself. So if I need to just like do a little trim, or like, I hardly ever tweeze my brows because, guys, my brows are so fine. I don't even need to tweeze them or do anything. I'm just gonna keep going across until I'm happy. I'm gonna go on the outside like we did the other side. Just go over, follow it down. So at this point, I'll go ahead and tweak the brows and kind of do little finishing touches. So if at any point I feel like the brows are too thick, or I feel like I need to add a little more concealer, I will do that now. So I'm just going to go with the same, literally the same brush we use. I only use one brush this whole time. Any excess, just take it off. And then I'm going to go back under my concealer. And like, if I need to blend down a bit more because I feel like it's too much concealer, I can pull down again. Blend that out. If I feel like I need to make it a little bit more, you know, sharp, I'll do that. And just again diffuse the front so we don't have that harsh look, because I just can't stand that. So just diffuse it a little bit. Now I go in and just make sure everything's nice and blended around the brows. I use this brush. This is a Real Techniques. I believe this is the buffing brush. It comes in the eye brush set. I always use this for my brows and my nose contours, like my literally go-to brush. And I'm just going to go ahead and just blend the concealer and the foundation around my brows and just blend it into the skin so it just looks a bit more blended. Blend all the sides. And I also like to go in the middle here, just really clean up. So that is essentially the brows done, everything I usually do. The only little thing I may add at the end is this e.l.f. brow lift. It's basically like a clear brow gel that you can just like brush through your brows to hold them into place. I prefer to use this at the end of makeup because I find when I do it, like when I finish my brows and I go into a full face, by the time I've added powders and all sorts, I just feel like it kind of holds on to like some of the powder I put on. I don't always use this, honestly. here and there. It's not essential to my routine, but it is nice. I do see a difference. It gives that like really like fluffy, like feathered type of vibe. That's pretty much it for today's brow tutorial. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I will leave the products in the description, and I will see you guys